Welcome to the SFL Postgame Show. The call-in number is 210-473-8428. Give your reactions. We'll give you an interview here on the Postgame Show as Week 1 opening night rolls on. Final numbers of the top performers are on your screen. Let us know how we did. Let us know how you thought your team did. Winners, losers. We're all SFL family. If you had one of these awesome performances, we most certainly would like to hear from you tonight. Wowza, what a night. Atlanta and Vegas, huge underdogs according to the Who You Got on Slack. As was Oklahoma City for that matter. Who wants to be the first caller of the season? Line is open. I'll give my initial thoughts while we wait for a caller. And our first caller is from Matt South of the Los Angeles Sharks, coming off of a 16-13 loss. Matt, what are your impressions of how opening night went for you?
If you would have just acted I was on anonymous caller, that'd been great. I don't want to. I threw 3 picks?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't remember if it was 3 or 4, but
yeah, three
interceptions
and about 140 or so yards. And in fact, we can pull up. This is a new feature, so I almost forgot about it. We're actually able to pull up your final numbers here, so bear with me here. Or we should be able to. Unfortunately, we did get a couple of games in, but it looks like we had some issue with Los Angeles. We're dealing with some weird power stuff here at SFL headquarters, so we'll get that on there when we can. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, 3 interceptions on my opening debut. It doesn't look real promising, but I'm gonna get it together next week. I am really happy that I had J. Calvin Kim and Doug Bose as my rushers on my fantasy team.
Yeah, Doug. But, at least you have that, right?
I don't. If my passes were on point as my fantasy picks, I guess that would be okay. But they're obviously not. I guess I got to put some work in the gym this week and get better.
I tell you what, boy, Rick O'Reilly had himself a night. Were you just sick and tired of that guy by the end of the night?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have to give me an ice bath. I just bruises all over me right now. 4.5 sacks?
4.5 sacks for Rick O'Reilly all by himself. And 11 tackles, too.
You said it was an SFL record.
Yeah, a record for all-time sacks, career sacks. He's a little ways away from an all-time game record. We've had some wild sack performances over the years. But his 11 tackles, he just didn't do it to the pass. He was shutting down Doug Bose when he could.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. We had no answer for him, but I got a feeling we're going to hit the film room together this week, and we're going to figure out how to get ready for Sioux Falls, I believe is who we have next.
Actually, I know you're a little disoriented from the Rick O'Reilly hits, but it's actually the OKC Renegades who could stroll into town, who had a very impressive second half. They really struggled in the first half, but looked very good in Dallas in the second half.
Oh, yeah, they did. I was very excited to see them come back. I do know that my picks on market trends this week are all screwed up. I don't think I won a game. I'm not going to lie.
What was it? You that was
Both
down
of
in
them
Red
went out.
Feather, or was it Mighty? I can't remember. He had 300.
It was mighty. I
Oh,
didn't I didn't doubt Red Feather.
there you go. Well, 0-1. It's a long season. Obviously
That is
disappointed
it.
for you guys, but long season.
You just got to get back, hit the gym, hit the film room, get ready for next week.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for joining us, Matt. We appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks for having me. Have a good.
Oh, sorry, Mark. I cut you off there. Open line is 210-473-8428. If you want to call in and be a part of the show, again, 210-473-8428 to discuss some things. We got a couple of games up, but I don't know what happened to the others. We'll try to figure that out next week. 216, you're on the SFL postgame show. Who do we have?
Yeah, Ronnie Nickens.
Oh boy, Ronnie Nickens. He's the happiest man in the building. With
A good, a
with
good, a good start.
yeah, a good.
And
Go ahead.
I'd like to really give props to Mario Savage for all the hard work he put in. It was a pretty good defense. I love the defensive scheme. We're just putting that pressure on, and I'm very excited about that. The comeback and to be able to do it against some goal competition in the on that on Los Angeles. It really made my day. I'm very happy with the performance of the team tonight.
Yeah, they were pretty much in it. Besides the one long Doug Bose run, they were pretty much in it the entire game. And a name that we didn't mention much tonight was David Overstreet. It wasn't for a lack of trying. He had over 20 carries. I think he only ended up with 50 or some odd yards. I did have the
Right.
final numbers, or I thought I did, but I don't have them in front of me. But Mario Savage, he really stepped up. Lorenzo Allen really had a tremendous night for Vegas, and
Lorenzo Allen looked like Lorenzo Allen.
yeah, yes he did,
He
yes he
looked
did.
he looked like that's what we brought him in to do, and he looked just as good as he did when he was with Orlando.
Hey, you mind muting the broadcast in the background, Ronnie, so we don't get the echo?
All right.
Um, well, this is, I mean, you've been, it was put on the countdown clock earlier tonight. You know, it's 2009. We started it all. You've been
Mhm.
with this organization for a very long time. This was our first full-blown red zone in league history, and your team was a huge part of it as you had a tremendous victory. What do you think about it? Is it difficult to keep up? It's sometimes hard to keep up for me.
Uh, well, for me, no, it wasn't hard to keep up with. I'm interested to watch the whole tape to see exactly how everything transpired, and but from what I the, from what I saw and where I seen everything, I thought it was a great opening night, and I want to also give props to my your father um, in the Oklahoma City Renegades. Nice performance by that by him tonight.
Yeah, was that my next question was going to be what other game stood out to you? Is that the game that stands tall?
That's the one that impressed me. I well, I listened to a couple of the shows, and uh, it was doom and gloom for he and I. So for so for me, that made my day.
Yeah, the old
And then
schoolers pick up
you
a couple
know,
of victories.
right, for everyone to say that we weren't gonna even be in these games, and we made them eat their words. So that made my day.
Very, very close games tonight. Well, Vegas beats Los Angeles 16-13 in really stunning fashion on Aaron Tolbert's pick into field goal range. Thanks for joining us, Ronnie, and congrats to you and Mario on a 1-0 start.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you know the drill, guys. Open line now, 210-473-8428. It's worth noting that Las Vegas and Atlanta are on bye next week, so both will head into their bye week a comfortable 1-0. To clarify to some, wondering if you get changes on your bye week, here's the easiest way I can put it. You get 20 adds and drops every time you go up against a new opponent, and those adjustments get submitted on the week of your game. No adjustments are submitted on the bye week of your game. 470, you're on the SFL Postgame Show.
Cam, what's poppin'?
Hey, Frank, what's
Atlanta
up?
Swarm's on here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Mark Chisholm.
Right.
Mark Chisholm's here. Hey, you stole Frank's line. What's poppin'? It's ingrained in my brain that only Frank says it. Wow, I don't even know where to begin with Atlanta. And hats off to the Atlanta Swarm. They get my vote for best job in their private team channel through the off season and week one. You guys have been doing a tremendous job building the hype, and you didn't have to build it tonight. It was built for you by Skeletor P-Funk and the rest of this team. Man, what are your thoughts?
First, I got to give a shout-out to the Crabs. All the hype they were bringing to the game. Everybody, you saw the Who Gotcha picked us. What was it, they had the most picks, 66 to 14 against us. And that really just fueled us, man. I got to say thanks for the hard work from Robert. He really put the time in. I think the league is on notice now that Taco's for real, man.
Man, Skeletor P-Funk, what a night he had. Did throw a pick in the end zone, but 290 yards and 3 touchdowns. The second best fantasy football quarterback of the night. And, he's a bronze. Everyone says, bronzes. But, man, he balled out.
Yeah, right. Welcome bronze quarterback back to the SFL.
And Murdoch Malk also got a victory tonight as a bronze quarterback, but certainly did not put up the numbers that Funk did. How about your defense? Nick Nitro, Delta Coakley, they get interceptions. Ludacris, I believe, had a sack. Maybe it was a half a sack. And a couple other guys, I'm sure, when we take a look at the full game and the box scores.
Yeah, those full stats.
Yeah.
Shout out to BDG Hollywood and Boo Chisholm. My goal players stepped up and did what they were supposed to do. Looked great out there.
What other game caught your attention as the night was rolling on?
Oh, definitely Tallahassee, because we see them in 2 weeks.
Okay, there you go.
That's what I'm watching. T-Pat and Frank down there. I can't wait to watch that game, see what's going on.
Well, that's a week 3 game of the week in the making right there. We'll see what Tallahassee does this upcoming week. You guys have a while to get your 20 adds and 20 drops ready for Tallahassee in week 3, since you have a week 2 bye. It's got to feel pretty good going into the bye week 1-0.
Oh, it definitely feels great. And to beat a stout team like Baltimore. Atlanta's for real. We're here. Expect us.
What was your favorite play of the night, my friend?
I like that pass to Nick T. Quick from Funk. But I think Boo Chisholm had a 76-yarder or something like that. That was pretty nice, too.
Yeah, that was pretty early. Hooked up with him. But yeah, it was certainly a night of stars for you. Your offense showed up, and your defense really locked them down in the first half. Mark, thanks for joining us. And next time you join us, try not saying what's popping when you first.
All right. It was a great broadcast too, by the way, Cam. Shout out to you, man.
Woo! I appreciate it. It come in through loud and clear out there.
Yeah, it came in perfect. No problems, no glitches. It was good to go.
Wowzers. That's a miracle. Excellent. All right, man. Take care. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night.
We got Alaska Storm owner Max Paul on the call. Max, you're 1-0.
What's going on, Cam? Things are good over here in Alaska tonight, baby. We partying.
Man, that was a wild game. That was a wild game. Uh, the crazy backwards pass, fumble, and then Bentley scores on it right away. Stevie T. Diggs answers with a 104-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Optimus Klein mossed at the goal line. Man, that game was full of great plays.
Yes, it was. And remember when I was first applying for a team, I told you, and I want a team that's complete, not just offense and defense. Special teams is a big part of the team. Kick return, punt return, kick coverage, punt coverage. Those are important facets as well. And, the offense kind of struggled today getting, things going. Beakley didn't do what we expected him to do. Murder Mock didn't turn the ball over, which is great. So he gave the defense a chance to play with a tilted field, so to speak, and have Mexico City have to work their way all the way down. So, that one little hiccup where Beakley kind of, fumbled the ball backwards that provided him with a short field kind of gave him a spark, because prior to that, the offense wasn't doing much of anything. So, props to that. Good game to the guys in Mexico City. I know we see y'all later on this season, so I know y'all are going to be ready and prepared to give us a hell of a fight when that comes. But right now in Alaska, W, baby, put it on the board. Can't take it away.
I bet the Sharks really missed Wayne Buckerson tonight. He was everywhere. And to piggyback off of that, Evan Carroll, man, that guy was impressive. I still think one of my favorite plays of the night was him running down Ray Bentley and making that tackle. That was a heck of an effort.
That right there, he's my secret weapon. Like he's my. Don't get this wrong. He's my coworker. So I see him every day. We ride home like we carpool to and from work. I call him Bearded Beauty. That's how close we are. And I told him, don't worry about your play. I'm gonna hook him up. He's gonna look good out there. And tonight he was a factor in running down Bentley when he broke loose. That Buckerson, one of the Buckerson interceptions was off his tip. He also got an interception himself in Mexico City territory that set up a score as well. So yes, he was a factor.
You have Dallas next week. Boy, they look like they were just going to roll through Oklahoma City, and then they hit a wall. But they're going to come out firing. They do not want to go 0-2 on their home field. How surprised were you that the Renegades scored 24 unanswered points to win that game?
I was surprised, because we all know that Steven runs a tight ship, especially on defense, and that very few times do you see receivers uncovered or defenders out of position, allowing for the offense to get quick and easy scores. So OKC did their homework and was able to create mismatches where necessary to take advantage of Dallas's defense, especially in the secondary. So I know Steven's gonna go back. Lick his wounds, look at tape, fix what happened there, as well as, trying to find a way to kickstart the offense under Mac Wavy's direction. So we in Alaska, we're going to tinker the offense a little bit, review some film as well, fix what was askew on offensively and defensively, kind of tighten up the gap control, so running back start running loose in the secondary like they did with this game. So that's what we're going to do there. All right, before I forget, shout out, Mark Chisholm. I see what you're doing in A-Town. I didn't doubt you. I just didn't know what you had. I see what you have. Sir, my eyes are watching Atlanta closely.
And you guys have Atlanta on your schedule a bit later in the season, so that'll be a fun one. You're the owner. Who was your player of the game tonight for Alaska?
Between Wayne and Evan, it'd be split between those two guys, because they were the playmakers and the difference makers in that game. And special shout out to Stevie T. Diggs, because he came through in the clutch. Because after that backwards pass that Beakley kind of muffed, and Mexico City was able to take the lead with that, we came right back around, and he took that kickoff 104 yards to the end zone to even up the game and not have us have to rely on Murder Mock to kind of win the game for us. Just to be able to, hey, don't lose the game, All you gotta do is just manage the game. We'll find a way, and that's exactly what happened.
All right, Mighty, appreciate you being here. Hope Red Zone was a yay for you. Obviously, you got the victory, but plenty more to
Oh,
come in week 2.
Cam, great work as always. And as soon as I hang up, I'm starting to prep for Dallas. So see you around.
All righty, see you, Mighty.
Bye.
Open line 210-473-8428. We'll hang on for maybe a couple more callers if we've got them. But my oh my, what a performance tonight by Alaska. That game was full of awesome plays. We haven't gotten to talk with, and I'm surprised actually that we haven't yet heard from anyone from the Tallahassee Pride organization. They were unstoppable tonight. St. Louis just got run over, and we'll have to look at the final stats, and I think we actually may have some of those. 9:04, you're on the postgame show.
What's happening?
Hey, there he is. Hey, you did. Thank goodness you
I
didn't.
was gonna say what's popping.
See, that's what I was like, yeah, 52-13. We were able to get some final stats on your offense. 594 total yards of offense. E.T. King had 420 yards, 5 touchdowns. J. Calvin Kim had 140 yards rushing on 11 carries, Frank. Where do you begin with that?
It was just I think I'm very happy with how things came together. Obviously, we were having just a blast the whole night over here. So I'm just really happy the way the team responded tonight.
Couple of plenty of new faces actually on offense. The offense is totally reworked. Is it one of those things where I know Paternity is a 2-time SFL champ, but I didn't know he was this. Is that maybe hitting you right now?
Yeah, you mean in me working with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really it. You understand the pedigree he brings. You understand it and you respect it. But I have an ego over here as well, and you got to remember, last season we won. I beat that team and held
Right.
it down, that blinded offense down.
Right. That's
in our
true.
first game of the season for season 7. So it was a matter of a little bit of ego. But then once you really see the way the mind works and his work ethic, period, put those two together, and he was introducing concepts that was taking me by surprise. And so, I think I threw a couple things his way, and it's turning out to be a really, really, really good combo that we're 1-2 punch that we're putting together.
Right. It definitely looks like a meeting of the minds. Minneapolis had a lot of swing city. They really didn't have a ground game, and we didn't see either of those things here tonight. We saw just a balanced attack all the way around. It was pretty vicious.
Mhm. Yeah, it really worked. But let me, this was our opponent's first franchise game, and you got to understand, that everybody I think understands is bound to be some sort of learning curve. So
Right.
I wanted to just tell them to keep their head up. I was just mentioning to someone that the Pride, we lost our first game ever, our first franchise game to the Crabs, and we went on to make the playoffs that season. So, and that was when we were only at 8 games. So there's plenty of time here. Keep your heads up. It was a great game, a game effort, and quality opponent. We're looking forward to seeing how they bounce back.
They also got saddled with a rough schedule. They got Queen City next, and they haven't played. So now they got to play a second opponent who they have not seen or have the ability to prepare for. So that's pretty tough. That's playing a combined 5 championship owners in the first 2 weeks. That is a tall order in St. Louis, and we'll see how they bounce back in week 2.
But hopefully they will. Yeah, I'm thinking, take this as a challenge, and it's a learning experience all the way.
I know you had a rough season last year. A.J. Barnes and Ethan King are sort of your spark plugs in terms of getting people fired up. Do you think that the 52-13 victory you're going to fire some other people up after this week? Think that's going to help?
Yeah, they're going to be hyped. They're going to be hyped all week long.
Frank, you also manage
All
our
week
you
long.
also manage our fantasy football product. Why don't you give us an update on how that's going, what people can expect, and how does the sign-ups and everything that's happened tonight, how does all of that meet, sort of the expectation that you set for yourself? Because I know you set a high bar.
Yes, I'm excited because it seems to be working pretty well. You know how it is. When you create the system and then you get it in use, there are going to be a few things that could be improved upon, and we're going to do that. But I mean, I'm really happy. We have something like 45 player teams, and everybody seems to be hyped. We were talking about fantasy all night in the chat. And I know
That's
people
awesome.
are looking forward to seeing how their fantasy teams, do. So I'm really happy with the impact, and it's just only going to grow from here.
That's awesome. Did you catch by any chance what our high for viewers were? We were in the high 70s at one point. I don't know
I
if we
saw
got
that.
more.
Oh,
I don't know if we got more than that, but that was a great week one start.
maybe someone can mention that in the chat. I wasn't paying as much attention, but I did see that as well. We were definitely in the high 70s, and that's always good.
Yeah, and hey, when I started Pick'em last year, what did we have? 10 in Pick'em, and that was nothing. You
Yeah.
start fantasy football, we got 45, and the Who You Got also blew up this. We had like 80 voters. It was tremendous, a tremendous
That was
poll.
amazing.
I can't wait to see what week 2 looks like for both of those platforms, and it's good to see we're starting to actually build some successful platforms and ideas around here. Hey, I know you're a film guy.
Agree.
Quickly before you go, where's
Yeah.
RedZone? Did we do okay with the transitions on the RedZone here tonight?
More than okay. Red Zone was outstanding tonight. I really got to give my props to you. I don't mind saying it. Just across the board, clean production. Everything was clear in terms of audio, and everybody was involved. And then on top of that, we get to watch our games afterwards. So seriously, I don't. Red Zone is at least in my book, an absolute hit.
It looks like we may have gotten to 81. That's what Doug Bose seems to think. So that's great. That is
Nice.
an awesome Red Zone debut, and we hope that those numbers are going to stay pretty consistent. I won't imagine that they wouldn't. Frank,
Yeah, no, we can look forward to that. Yeah.
it's late on the East Coast. You're a part of my staff. Am I going to get to talk with you tomorrow, or are you going to be busy as a bee?
Yeah. No, well, tomorrow. I do have some things to do, but
Of course you do.
absolutely, of course. but I'm making time for this. This is the hype.
All right, buddy. Thanks for all the hard work. Everybody thank Frank for all that he's doing with fantasy football. That is adding a stellar element to SFL play. Congrats on the victory,
Oh,
Frank.
thanks. My pleasure. Oh yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. Can we squeeze in one more caller? And if we can, that'd be pretty sweet. It's been a heck of a opening night. After we get off the air, DAC stats should be fully updated. I did have an issue when we were off the air of getting the last 3 games synced up to the website, but hopefully we'll have that corrected ASAP, and then we'll also have all the full games available for you to watch, as most of you likely have off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I unfortunately do not. But Andy Hamilton is going to be doing his thing. That's tomorrow. Don't forget Carolina and Sioux Falls, the SFL Game of the Week with SFL broadcast production. The Battle of the Birds. That's going to be a stellar show, I'm sure, as Carolina and Sioux Falls hope to get started on the right foot. Houston and Queen City were off in week 1. But Houston will take on Mexico City, who will try to avoid falling to 0-2. Queen City will take on St. Louis. That is a very, very tall task for the St. Louis Gladiators, who certainly would have liked tonight to go differently. after Tallahassee and defending champion coach Thomas Paternitti really put it on him. Frank Goodin as well, who has been a playoff caliber owner since he got started in this league. Tallahassee had a rough season last season, but after tonight's performance, I don't think that's going to be continuing too much longer. We're going to put a bow on the SFL postgame show tonight. What a night it was. Tallahassee, Atlanta, Oklahoma City, Las Vegas, and Alaska, all with victories. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League and the SFL Network. Join us next Monday for Week 2 Red Zone. Pre-game starts at 7 Central. Game of the week in Week 2 is Saturday evening with Andy Hamilton, and hopefully Michael Langley will be back for that one. For all of us in the Simulation Football League, get ready to check your fantasy scores tomorrow, box scores, full games later tonight. We're just getting started, folks. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine. Peace from SFL headquarters, Denton.